From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Good evening and welcome. We begin with breaking news. A large police presence is being reported on the east side of Madison. It's happening in the 3500 block of East Washington Avenue.
According to the Wisconsin DOT, East Washington is now closed in both directions starting at Fair Oaks. The police activity is focused on the quick trip there after a man ran in with a gun. News 3 Now's Will Keneally is live at the scene. Will, what's the latest going on there?
Well, that's right. Just into the newsroom a few minutes ago, we have learned that there's a Bearcat at a scene in just this incident that happened maybe an hour and a half ago. Police leadership is involved in monitoring. SWAT has been on the scene. We know, as you said before, that an armed man ran into the quick trip with a gun, and we're expecting a news conference from MPD leadership later. From people that we've spoken to, businesses nearby, they've said that they're initially, earlier this afternoon, were just alerted to a large police presence at the scene. Police did not tell them to shelter in place, so it seems like it might have been contained just within that quick trip area. But aside from that, we heard SWAT team showed up to the scene here, and about a dozen squad cars. Yeah, as we know now, still a very active scene here on East Wash. Police are saying to avoid the area if at all possible, and we don't know quite when a resolution will come, but we do know that Madison Police will update us with a news conference later tonight. But for now, reporting from East Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Will. Now to an update on a woman found dead in Madison on Wednesday. Police are now ruling it a murder and have identified a suspect. 39-year-old Justin Kottmeyer is wanted in connection with the woman's death. He should be considered armed and dangerous. Kottmeyer has ties to the east side of Madison, as well as Baraboo, Beaver Dam, Belleville, and Lodi. Anyone who sees him should call 911.
The man accused of firing his gun in downtown Brooklyn Tuesday repeatedly threatened to shoot someone during a phone call with Greene County dispatchers. 75-year-old Paul Douglas was arrested shortly after the incident, which prompted election officials to move the village's polling location. Douglas has since been charged with making terrorist threats, among other charges. Prosecutors allege the incident started when a tree management company showed up in the area. Douglas claimed the workers had arrived to cut down his tree, telling Greene County dispatchers he was, quote, going to start shooting people. But the crew's foreman says they were there for a tree across the street from Douglas. Douglas's next court appearance is scheduled for Monday. And let's check the first warn forecast now with Julian Seawright.
And things have gotten quite cold outside, and it's going to be like this throughout much of our evening. But what we're really going to be watching for is the developments of seeing any more snow, which is tracking its way into southern Wisconsin. Now, taking a look at what we're seeing right now, a scene of cloudy conditions and a cold evening is on tap. However, we're going to see those temperatures be rather steady over the next few hours. Lower 20s is going to be expected, but by the time we get into the next hour or two, we are going to start to see flurries and some snow showers that will linger into the rest of tonight, but start to end once we get into around the midnight hour. Temperatures right now are 21 degrees in Madison, 27 for Janesville, and about 23 for Platteville. Those easterly winds are keeping us rather on the steady side and also rather chilly, but at least the wind speeds themselves aren't too strong, though they are having an impact. It's feeling like 13 degrees here in Madison and 18 degrees in Janesville. Now, taking a look at our radar, what we're monitoring is what's happening right now for Grant County. They're starting to see a bit of some snow starting to roll its way in, some flurries. That's going to continue to band its way and push towards a northerly track, which will start to reach its way into Dane County and areas just north of I-90 as well. So we're going to be looking at a little bit more snow on the way. Outside of that, though, tonight our temperatures will fall to around 16 degrees in Madison, 26 for Janesville, and around 21 degrees for Platteville. We'll talk more about what else to expect for this weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Thank you, Julian. After Tuesday's primary election, the campaigns are gearing up for a huge financial fight. In recent elections, state parties have spent anywhere from tens of thousands to more than $1 million for Supreme Court candidates, often in-kind donations like mailings or robocalls. But one candidate tells us he wants this year to be different for him.
Would you take money from the Republican Party?
Well, we're not taking money from the Republican Party.
This would be a change for conservative candidate Dan Kelly when he ran in 2020. The state Republican Party backed his campaign with at least $65,000 worth of in-kind donations. On the liberal side, state Dems have already put $23,000 behind Janet Protasewicz this year.
Flags will fly at half-staff Sunday in honor of Lake Mills Fire Chief Todd Yandre. Yandre passed away suddenly during a cardiac event last week. He was a 41-year veteran of the Lake Mills Fire Department. In a statement, Governor Tony Evers described Yandre as a caring and loyal friend, mentor, coach, husband, father, and grandfather who was dedicated to serving his community. Funeral services will be held on Sunday in Lake Mills.
There's been a series of shots fired incidents in Janesville since mid-December, but the Janesville Police Department says the risk of public safety isn't higher than usual. The department has responded to 6 different shots fired calls in the last few months, and the most recent one was on February 11th after a fight broke out at a house party. Just a few days earlier, shots were fired again outside of Riley's Sports Bar and Grill.
A lot of these incidents were isolated to people at certain locations participating in certain behaviors. And with that said, I think it's important for people to, be intentional with when they see something that seems out of place.
Those incidents have prompted them to increase bar checks and work with local bars to educate staff on problematic customers. And now they're encouraging anyone with information on any crime to contact them or report it anonymously through Janesville Area Crime Stoppers. 1 in 5 women die of heart disease. It's that statistic that has one woman motivated to share her experiences with other women in Madison. Our Catherine Merck shows us what's behind the message of the Go Red for Women luncheon today and what doctors say you can do to prevent the disease yourself.
Today at the Madison Marriott West was dedicated to raising awareness for women to protect their heart.
Women's risk of dying from a cardiovascular event is actually the #1 killer, even compared to cancer or other diseases.
Around 60 million women are affected by heart disease, even though it's often thought of as a disease primarily impacting men. One of those women is Shamika Campbell. She shared her own experience with heart disease at the Go Red for Women luncheon, saying the more a woman knows about heart disease, the better chance she has of beating it.
In my 20s, I was diagnosed with heart disease. It wasn't until after I lost a sister who was only 31 that I learned the extensive cardiovascular history on my maternal side. The message that I want to send today is know your family health history as well as listen to your body and make necessary changes to your health if needed.
The doctors I spoke with said that Heart Month and Women's Month are both important to remember that heart disease is preventable and treatable. Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
Coming up, how new technology is giving some middle school students a chance to better show off their STEM skills.
Plus a canine competition in Madison where you'll be able to watch the Wisconsin Kennel Club dog show this weekend.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Take a break from furniture frustration. It's spring break at Bob's Discount Furniture. I'm making it super easy to shop my top-rated products, like my Avenger and Forte collections. Both have power reclining Bobapedic seats, USB ports, a drop-down table in the sofa, luxurious upholstery, and a storage console in the love seat. Just $9.99 each. And the reviews are flying in with 2,500 and counting. So check out the Avenger and Forte motion collections at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Welcome back. We continue with the breaking news from East Madison, where a large police presence is there right now.
Let's now go back to Will Keneally for the latest. Will?
That's right. So we're still seeing an active scene here at the 3500 block of East Washington Avenue, centered around the Quick Trip there. We've learned just in the last few minutes from Madison police that they confirmed that a man with a gun walked into the Quick Trip. We had a response from the Madison SWAT team, and police leadership are going to continue to keep us updated throughout the night with a news conference coming in soon. From where we are, we've seen just a little bit of police activity within the last few minutes. They put in some police tape around the Quick Trip. We have no updates, though, from the police on the scene, but we will keep you updated as we hear more from Madison police. But for now, reporting from East Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Some middle schoolers are getting the chance to show off their engineering skills with the help of some new technology. Johnson Creek Middle School bought new 3D printers for its engineering class. Already, teachers have noticed the printers are helping students get interested in not just engineering, but other things as well.
One of the first things I made were some chess pieces, and hadn't noticed any chess going around then, and ever since then kids have been interested in just chess. So like whatever is being made, the kids are interested in.
The printers were purchased using money from a 2022 STEM grant from Bobcat Company.
The Wisconsin Kennel Club Dog Show is back in Madison for its third year. The Wisconsin Kennel Club was founded 135 years ago, and its cluster of dog shows, well, they're happening at the Alliant Energy Center through Sunday. While they only allow entered dogs to attend, spectators are welcomed and encouraged to watch and enjoy their favorite breeds of dogs. Tickets are $5 for adults. Kids under 10 are free. You can find more information. Just go to this story at channel3000.com. Well, still ahead for many people, recovering from a concussion can be a lengthy process.
When we come back, I'll share my personal months-long journey towards recovery after a brain injury. Plus, Julian will have a look at your weekend forecast.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's President's Day appliance sale is ending soon. Find doorbuster appliances at big discounts, like this Frigidaire built-in dishwasher, now just $5.49, or this Amana gas range, now just $4.99 at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
Do you feel stuck living in a cold and drafty home? Well, there's a better solution than just turning up the heat. Because heating your home is by far the most expensive part of your energy bills. At USA Insulation, we fix cold homes. Most houses are built with builder's grade insulation. So when we fill your walls with our high efficiency foam, your house stays warm without turning up the heat, which saves you a lot of money. So call now and save up to 30% with the brand new energy credit.
USA Insulation.
You can't buy happiness, but you can buy an RV at Wisconsin RV World, and that's pretty darn close. Find your happiness during their RV Super Sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. Save over $30,000 on this new Heartland fifth wheel. Get this Keystone Springdale for as low as $185 a month, or this Cruiser Radiance for only $240 a month. Plus, get a one-year no-charge camping pass with every RV purchase.
Wisconsin RV World. If it doesn't say Wisconsin, it's just another RV dealer.
At Fearing's Audio Video Security, our people, vision, and values
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
It's your last chance to shop Ashley's biggest President's Day sale. Get the guaranteed lowest prices of the season, starting at 30% and up to 60% off furniture and mattress doorbusters. Plus 60-month special financing and delivery in as fast as 3 days on in-stock merchandise. Sale ends Tuesday at Ashley.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
We hear a lot about concussions these days, often because of sports, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Concussions happen to millions each year, and for many people, they are life-changing and long-lasting. Well, that includes people like Charlotte.
Well, Brady, I was on an elevator, just like this one over here, when everything started to turn white. I closed my eyes, leaned my head back against the wall, fainted, and fell, hitting my head really hard on this handrail, and I haven't been the same since. It's an invisible condition.
Meaning, how often do people who have concussion have people walk up to you and say, "You look fine"?
But I wasn't fine. I was well past the normal recovery time of a couple weeks, and I was still having crushing headaches every day. I was nauseous, dizzy, and suddenly lights and loud noises bothered me. Even more frightening, I couldn't remember words, names, or what I was talking about during a conversation. One time while driving, I suddenly didn't know where I was. Turns out, I was 2 blocks from home. I kept thinking, what's wrong with me?
About 20% of people have persistent post-concussive symptoms greater than 3 months.
Of the roughly 3 million people who get a concussion every year, about 600,000 develop post-concussion syndrome. They're the long haulers, the group that will take months or even years to feel and function like themselves again.
They don't realize how it affects their life, not just, oh, I have a headache, or, oh, I have some memory problems, but it affects their work, their family life, social things. It affects everything. I'm gonna give you this deck of cards.
Kathy Pazak
have 2 piles.
Is my speech therapist.
And I'm gonna ask you questions. How many times have I said to you, I want that big red Band-Aid on your head so people know there's something wrong, because you look great. You know, you're walking, you're not, you know, drooling.
She's right.
Do buy suits?
You don't see it. More local news now. But if you pay attention, you can hear it. Agriculture consulting. I know that word, but in an instant, my brain didn't.
That is a word, agnosia. You know it. I've said this word 10 times, but just in that fleeting minute with everything else that's going on in your life with the cameras and the lights.
Then snow cancels.
You've got so many stressors. It just goes.
For months, it's been baby steps.
Good.
To rebuild my memory. And, let's see. Learn how to multitask and process everything around me.
Water mammals.
Because everything is different, and so am I.
And with the concussion, the biggest challenge is people's identity changes. Really light circles. And so we want to help you get your identity back.
Marianne Relke is my occupational therapist.
So which one is better, the lighter or the dark?
And she's helping me get back to living a normal life.
You'll get better. It just takes time. You can't speed it up. You can't muscle through this.
Finger to nose.
Okay. But there is help.
Keep going faster.
And hope.
I don't sit there and have this conversation where I say, you won't get better. Because I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep trying to find answers for you.
So I'm also seeing a physical therapist, a chiropractor, a counselor, and just this week, a neurooptometrist in Chicago. So my journey with this invisible nightmare is far from over. Now, I've heard from many people sharing their concussion stories with me. Some are saying they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, they feel like they're not being heard or taken seriously. I get that, but help is out there. So to anyone out there who is looking for help and hope, feel free to contact me, email or Facebook message me, and I am more than willing and happy to share my medical team's contact information with you. And please know you are not alone. Well, warmer temperatures ahead for the weekend. Here's Julian with the complete forecast.
Beginning with our weather headlines ahead of those warmer temperatures, we are going to be anticipating to see some snow showers coming in later this evening and leading into tonight, but it's going to be brief and very light snow. Not looking for much in terms of accumulations, but this weekend, folks, is going to be something that has been very trendy for the last few weekends. Temperatures will be rather mild. We're looking into the mid-30s, low 40s. And on top of it, we're going to see plenty of sunshine. Then we have another system that's going to be bringing in some rain for us and potentially a little more. So let's take a look at what we have as of right now. Some light snow and flurries are starting to roll its way from Grant County, pushing into the rest of southern Wisconsin as we get into the rest of our evening. Now, outside of that, temperatures 16 degrees is what we're going to see for tonight's to be our low. 26 in Janesville, around 21 for Platteville. So many areas are going to be seeing those lower 20s and the mid to upper teens from Madison and areas to the west. For this weekend, though, Saturday will be 35 degrees, looking at that partly sunny sky. And for Sunday, 44 in some areas, even into the lower 40s. It's actually going to be wonderful Sunday afternoon for us, but then we're going to see changes coming into our Sunday night. Planning out tomorrow, we're going to have plenty of sunshine and abundance for southern Wisconsin. Middle 30s, lower 30s is going to feel a lot better than it has the last couple of days, which has been rather frigid. Now, as we plan out the rest of this evening, we're going to have that small band of snow start to roll its way throughout southern Wisconsin. But again, once midnight rolls around, it's pretty much out of here. May hit some of the northern areas, but otherwise, we're looking at more drier conditions from the overnights heading into our Saturday morning. It's going to be a bit chillier, starting off into the teens, but once we get into our Saturday afternoon, especially around the 5 o'clock hour, plenty of open sky, temperatures into the middle 30s, and those southerly winds are going to keep things rather mild. Heading into our Saturday nights, we're going to stay steady into those upper 20s until we get into the overnight. Around Sunday morning, then we're going to see those lower 20s coming in just ahead of any kind of warmth that we're going to see for our Sunday afternoon. Any snowfall totals are mainly going to be trace amounts. Some areas could see a bit more, and by that I mean like they may see an inch, but that's mainly going to be north of the Dells. Otherwise, around southern Wisconsin, we're looking for more decorative snowfall from this system. Now, here, the First Warn Weather Team, we are tracking that rain that's coming in from Sunday night into our Monday morning. Mainly going to be rain just south of the Dells. But you can see for the northern parts, we're looking for a bit more of that wintry mix where the colder air aloft is staying. And then as we get into our Monday evening, we are actually going to be watching for some snowfall that could start to roll its way into parts of southern Wisconsin before that system moves its way out. We're looking at pretty heavy amounts of rainfall coming in from the system. It's a very wet system in itself, so we could see about 3/4 to about an inch of rainfall for many areas of southern Wisconsin, and the lower the rainfall totals are north of the Dells is where we're going to be seeing more of that wintry mix or potentially even some snowfall. Now, for the next 5 days, it is possible for some of our local rivers to start to have some flooding concerns from all the snow and all the rain that we've had starting to melt and then adding into this wet precipitation coming in from our Sunday night into our Monday. So that's just one thing to be mindful of. Outside of that, temperatures will stay into the lower 40s over the next couple of days. And then as we get into next week, well, you have another active weather pattern we're going to be keeping an eye on.
And the playoffs officially begin, well, in less than an hour. We have one final preview before Wisconsin women's hockey takes the ice tonight. That's coming up next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
I've never been afraid to express myself, to create a life I love. I worried cancer could steal my spark and become my identity. But UW Health designed custom treatments just for me. And now, my legacy, it's still in the making. Because standard, well, that's never been my style. UW Health, remarkable.
A major winter storm, and we warned you first.
We're tracking a mix of sleet, freezing rain, and snow.
For accurate, up-to-the-minute coverage before, during, and after.
Those side streets are a real mess.
Trust News 3 Now, first warned weather, keeping you ahead of the storms.
Mark Johnson's message to his team this week: anything can happen in the postseason. It's his way of keeping the Wisconsin women's hockey team focused on the task at hand, beating Minnesota State. The Badgers swept the Mavericks in Madison and in Mankato during the regular season in convincing fashion. But don't think for a second this team is overlooking their first-round opponent. They're locked in and ready to drop the puck.
The game starts 0-0, so I think whatever's happened in the past, we're not really thinking about it and just go in there and be prepared to play.
We're excited to be playing in front of our fans. Obviously, we love playing at home, and to not travel, to be in our own locker room, in our own beds, honestly, at night, like, that's a big difference. But I think we're just excited to be playing more games at home. That's all we can really think about.
Puck drops at 7. We'll have those highlights tonight at 10. It's been a while since Badger men's basketball has been able to take a deep breath as the game clock runs out. Wednesday night's win over Iowa is their first double-digit win since December 30th, and their first in Big Ten play this season. Another perk of being up by double figures late in the game is that the bench got a chance to see some action, and that's something that Greg Gard and his starters were happy to see.
Heck, my son hasn't seen a court since like November or something. You know, those guys work really hard every day. And they haven't had a chance because we've been such a white-knuckle team drama with so many close games and been on the floor. So just to get them a little feel-good thank you for what you've done.
Yeah, it was really nice to be able to get the guys who don't really get the limelight a whole lot, those guys at the end of the bench that are always engaged, always cheering us on to get out there. And in Joe Lenardi's most recent NCAA tournament bracketology, Wisconsin is listed as one of the last 4 teams in as an 11 seed. If the Badgers want in, they got to be on their A game for the final stretch of games. The next one is against Michigan on Sunday. That's going to air here on CBS with tip-off at 1. And Badger women are heating up at the perfect time. In case you missed it last night, they beat Northwestern to make it 2 straight wins, the first set of consecutive wins since January. The team closes out the regular season on Sunday against 12th-ranked Michigan. Tip-off at the Kohl Center, set for 1.
Thank you, Jordan.
Well, finally, let's take one last live look out on the 3500 block of East Washington Avenue. That's where a man reportedly ran into the Quick Trip with a gun. Traffic on East Washington has since reopened.
Madison police say they will hold a news conference later tonight. Be sure to stay with News 3 Now and channel3000.com for the latest on this incident. For now, have a good night, and we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.